Welcome back to another video on the Revision Reporting Tool. In this video, you're going to learn how to add a from date and to date parameter to your report. This will probably be one of the most common parameters you will add to your reports. Part sales from this date to that date, or like inventory. I want to see all units with a post date from this date again to that date. And what you're going to see is applicable to any report, accounting, anything that is date based and you want to see just a certain date range. These parameters, and I'm fixing to show you, will apply to. All right, let's get started. We'll begin by just creating a very simple report. Create report, RDL blank, create report. Let's throw a table in there. Let's add 3 columns to the table. Left to right, doesn't matter. And let's add some data or fields. So first step is to grab the data. So we're going to add a data set or data model. And you only have one. And once you have the model, the next step is to scroll down to the data set that you want. And hit add. So I've added the data set inventory to this report. Okay, let's add 6 fields. Okay, we have our fields in place. Next, I want you to kind of remember here how this has nothing here, if you could. Okay, so the next step after you have create a report, add your fields to it, is to edit your data set. So I'm clicking on edit, and I'm going to come down here to parameters, the things that I want, the from and to date. I'm going to click on add, and I'll put from date. Very important, leave that blank. Add to date. Next is go ahead and let's bind those dates to the date received data field. So date received, I want it to be between my prompts, and the prompts will always be at the very bottom. From date, and there won't be a second item here because I want the date received between these 2 prompts. And the to date. Now this is the part I wanted to be careful. I said don't put anything in the value fields. Just add your 2 parameters over here. Then come up here and bind those 2 data field parameters to the data and click OK and watch what happens over here. It added the parameters to this area. And the reason for that is they're string. That's the default and we don't want string. So I'm clicking on the first one, change it to a date, and then I will hit back on the parameters. I'll click on the to date. I'll change that to date. And now I have my 2 parameters tied to date. Now I want the report to start out with some dates in it, not just blank, which is how it would be now. So I'm going to click on this first one here. Going to go all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to do a non-qualified value. In other words, I want the value to start out. It's not going to search anything. I'm entering the value now. So I'm hitting plus on the from date. Going to do an expression, and I want the beginning date to be today. So I'm double clicking, and hopefully you can see I know it's black, but it says today, and the cursor is between the 2 parentheses. So I'm going to move my cursor 1 to the right. So now my cursor is outside the parenthesis but before the curly bracket. And now I want to subtract a month from today. So I'm going to use the add month function. And again, when you double click on it, it brings it up here and it gives you the parentheses, and I'm going to put it in -1. So again, actually perfect. Today, the 2 parentheses, then the dot, which is the add months, and then minus a year here, and click on save. Now for the other one, for to date, I want it to default again to data value and add and expression and date time, and here again I'm just going to use today. I want to say today. So hit back. Let's just test it and make sure it does what we want to. So I'm hitting preview, and again 5.3 because it's 6.3, 2.6.3, and of course you see data that's in between that. So let's go ahead and go back a little bit and make sure it's really working. So all you see is May here. So let's go ahead and hit the calendar, and let's go back to March, and then hit preview again. And do we see things other than May? And yes, we do. We see some Aprils in there. So that is how you add a from and to date. So let me quickly walk through it again. You create the report. You add some columns to it. Next step is you select your model, which will only have one model to select from. Once you select your model, then you select what data set within that model you want. In this case, we did inventory. Once we selected it, we clicked on the edit data set, and we came down here and added 2 parameters, and we left this blank. Then we came up to edit, and we went to date received on this side. We used the between function because we wanted the date received between 2 different dates, and then we added by clicking on the more icon, going all the way to the bottom is where our parameters lived, and we did the from date and the to date. When we clicked OK, that threw them over here, and all we had to do at that point, they defaulted to string. We clicked on each one and we changed it from string to date, and that is all you have to do. So do this slowly, probably 4 or 5 times. You'll have it down pat, and it's a very easy way of adding. One last time, and we'll go back to April 1st and click on preview. A very easy way to put your from dates and to dates. And I thank you very much, and you have a nice day.